JavaScript. So today we'll be having a quick introduction to JavaScript. So in this video, we'll be discussing the following. So how to create output in JavaScript, variables, operators, conditional statements, loop for, and loop while. So this can be good enough for us to start with JavaScript. Output. So to create an output, we can make use of this statement, document.getElement by ID, and then we have here the ID. That inner HTML equals, and then we have here any of the text or number that you want to be displayed in a web page. But in using this, we should have an element with this ID. So in this case, we have a paragraph here with the ID demo. So 11, which is the value of this, will be displayed inside this paragraph. So we'll take a look at now the code. So we have here two more elements, a heading and another paragraph, and then another paragraph with demo. And also, if we're going to write our script or JavaScript, we should enclose it in script/script tags. And here's another way to produce an output. So almost the same file in the previous slide, but this time around, instead of writing it or placing the inner HTML or using inner HTML, we just use document.write, and then we have here the value to be written. So in this case, again, it is 5 plus 6. And the same, we should place our code inside script/script. Variables. JavaScript variables are containers for storing data values. Example, we have here variable x is equal to 5, variable y is equal to 6, and variable z is equal to x plus y. So for this example, x here stores the value 5. So x contains 5. Y equals 6, so y stores the value 6, and z is equal to x plus y. We should remember that x contains 5 and y contains 6. So 5 plus 6 will be equal to 11, and 11 will be stored in the variable z. JavaScript identifiers. All JavaScript variables must be identified with unique names. These unique names are called identifiers. Identifiers can be short names like x and y, or more descriptive names like age, sum, total volume. The general rules for constructing names for variables or unique identifiers are: number 1, names can contain letters, digits, underscores, and $signs. Names must begin with a letter. Names can also begin with $sign and underscore, but we will not use this in this video. Names are case sensitive, so that means that the small letter y and the uppercase letter y are different variables. Reserved words like JavaScript keywords cannot be used as names. So again, it's very similar to other programming languages, maybe with just minor differences. The assignment operator. In JavaScript, the equal sign is an assignment operator, not an equal to operator. So this is different from algebra. The following does not make sense in algebra: x is equal to x plus 5. Because in algebra, the equal is an equation for equation. But in JavaScript or in most programming languages, the equal symbol is an assignment statement. That means we assign the value of the right side of the expression to the variable on the left side. So in JavaScript, however, it makes perfect sense. It assigns the value of x plus 5 to x. It calculates the value of x plus 5, then puts the result into x. So the value is incremented by 5. Let's say, for example, x is initially 4. So 4 plus 5, 9, and then 9 will be stored in the variable x. The equal to operator is written like double equal in JavaScript. So like this. JavaScript data types. JavaScript variables can hold numbers like 100 and text values like John Doe. In programming, texts are called text strings or just strings. JavaScript can handle many types of data, but for now, just think of numbers and strings. Strings are written inside double or single quotes. Numbers are written without quotes. If you put a number in quotes, it will be treated as a text string. So we have here examples. Var pi is equal to 3.14. Var person is equal to John Doe, so that's a string. It is enclosed in double quote. And var answer equals yes I am, enclosed in single quote. So again, string can be enclosed in double quotes or single quotes, while numbers should not be enclosed in any double quotes or single quote. JavaScript operators. So we have discussed this a while ago. The assignment operator assigns value to the variable. So var x is equal to 10, then that means that the variable x will have or will store the value 10. Then here are JavaScript operators. These are the arithmetic operators. So plus is for addition, so no problem with that. Minus is for subtraction. The asterisk is for multiplication. And the double asterisk is for exponentiation. So, but maybe if you encounter that this will not be supported by other browsers, maybe you are using an old browser. Slash is for division. The percent is for modulus or division remainder. The plus plus is for increment, and the double minus is for decrement. So again, similar to other programming languages, maybe except for exponentiation. In other languages, they're using the caret for exponentiation, but in JavaScript, we use double asterisk. Other programming languages does not have exponentiation operator. Instead, I think they're going to make use of functions. Then the JS assignment statement. So a while ago, we have learned that the equal operator is an assignment statement, but we can have also other variations of the assignment statement. So this one, x equals y, so y will be assigned to x. Then plus equals, we have this assignment operator, so x plus equals y. So if you write this code is similar to x is equal to x plus y. Similarly, if we have minus equals, so x minus equals y, this is similar to x equals x minus y. And x asterisk equals y is the same as x is equal to x times y. So let's say, for example, let's try this one. X is initially 2 and y is 2. So 2 times 2, 4, and 4 now will be assigned to x. So that will update the value of x. Initially x is 2, then x becomes 4. So what will happen to 2? Of course, that will now be overwritten. So x will not have two values, but only one value that is actually equal to 4. The same is true with the previous examples here. So x slash equal y is the same as x is equal to x divided by y. Then also we have the modulo. So x percent equals y is the same as x is equal to x percent y. X double asterisk equal y is the same as x is equal to x double asterisk y. So these are the assignment operators. JS string operators. The plus operator can also be used to add or concatenate strings. So in our example, we have variable text1 txt1 is equal to John, and then variable txt2 is equal to Doe. Then var txt3 is equal to txt1 plus a space enclosed in double quote. There is a space here plus text2. So that means what? Again, this is to join or to concatenate. So txt1 is John plus space plus Doe. So the result of text3 will be John, then we have the space, and then Doe. So if we remove the space, it will be John Doe without a space in between the two names. JavaScript string operators, we can also use the plus equal sign to add or concatenate strings. So in this example, we have var txt1 is equal to what a vary, and then txt1 plus equals nice day. So that means txt1 what a vary then will be added to nice day, and again stored to the same variable txt1. So txt1 now will contain what a very nice day. So the result of txt1 is this one, what a very nice day. Adding strings and numbers. Adding two numbers will return the sum, but adding a number and a string will return a string. So just like in this example, 5 plus 5 is x. So the value of x here is 10. 5 plus 5, but you notice that 5 is enclosed in double quote, then that will make 5 here not a number but a string. So if this is a string, it will just concatenate or join the two. So the result will be 5, 5. Here, again, we have a string plus 5. So if you have a string added to a number, the result will be treated as a string. So it will become hello 5. Comparison operators. So these are the operators if we're going to compare two values. Now in comparing, more or less the result will become true or false, and we usually use these operators for if statements, loop, and looping statements. So the double equal is the same as equal to, and then the triple equal means equal in value and at the same time also equal in data type. And then that symbol is not equal. So not equal. Well, this one is not equal in value or not equal in type. This one is the greater than symbol. So this one is the less than symbol. This means it is greater than or equal to or the same time as not lesser. So it can be greater, it can be equal, but of course it is not lesser. And this one is lesser or equal, so less than or equal to, or the same time or the same as not greater. And we use this one for ternary operator. JS logical operators. So the JS logical operators, we have the logical AND or the Boolean AND. So if you still remember, for AND, if we have two expressions or two relational expressions, both should be true for the result to become true. So both should be true. If one is false, then the result will become false. And then we have the logical OR. So it is a double bar, double vertical bar. So for OR, as long as one expression is true, the result is true. So it will only become false if both are false. And then we have the NOT operator. So the logical NOT, that means it will just reverse the result or the value. If it is true, then it will be the result will become false. If it is true, it becomes false, and if it is false, it becomes true. JavaScript if, else, and else if. So these are what we call the conditional statements. Very often when you write code, you want to perform different actions for different decisions. You can use conditional statements in your code to do this. In JavaScript, we have the following conditional statement. So we use the if to specify a block of code. So if to be executed if a specified condition is true. We use else to specify a block of code to be executed if the same condition, so the condition above, is false. So if it is true, we do the block, the first block, and then if it is not, then execute what is on the else block. The else if is to specify a new condition to test if the first condition is false. And we use the switch statement to specify many alternative blocks of code to be executed. So let's discuss the if statement. Use the if statement to specify a block of JavaScript code to be executed if a condition is true. So the syntax is if, then enclosed in parentheses we have the condition. So the condition can be an expression. You can use actually the relational expression in most cases. And then we have the open and curly brace, so that means this is the block, and place here the block of code to be executed if the condition is true. Note that if is in lowercase letters. Uppercase letters like I, F, or both are in uppercase will generate a JavaScript error. Example, make a good day greeting if the R is less than 18. So if R is less than 18, so we're just translating this word into a valid JavaScript code. So if R is lesser than 18, greeting is equal to good day. So the result of the greeting will be equal to good day. The else statement. Use the else statement to specify a block of code to be executed if the condition is false. So we have if condition, then we have the block. So the block here is the code to be executed if the condition is true. Then we have else, and then another block. So the block of code to be executed here if the condition is false. So we place the block of code here if the condition is false. For example, if the hour is less than 18, create a good day greeting. Otherwise, create a good evening greeting. So how do we write that in a JavaScript code? So if hour is lesser than 18, then we have here our open and close curly braces, greeting equals good day. So if this is true, we use good day. Else, greeting equals good evening. So if this is false, then good evening. Assuming that while I'm recording this, it's 7 o'clock, so hour is 7 in the morning. So the result greeting will be good day. The else if statement. So we use the else if statement to specify a new condition if the first condition is false. So in the syntax, if condition, so that's the first condition. Then we have the block. Then the block of code to be executed if condition is true. So we place the block of code here if the first condition is true. If not, then we can have another condition. So if we have another condition, we use the else if and then the next condition. So block of code to be executed if condition 1 is false and condition 2 is true. So it will only go to this block if the first condition is false. We can add another else if we want. So if we have another else if here, then that means it will be the block of code to be executed if condition 1 is false and condition 2 is false. So we have the next block, and so on and so forth. Then else is when everything or all of the conditions is false, then we have our else block. So the block of code to be executed if the condition 1 is false and condition 2 is false in this syntax. So example, if time is less than 10, create a good morning greeting. If not, but time is less than 20, create a good day greeting. Otherwise a good evening. So again, while I'm recording this, it's around 7 a.m. So if time is lesser than 10, that's true already. So the greeting is good morning. But if, for example, if it is not, then if it is false here, we have else if time is lesser than 20. So again, it will only go here if the first one is false. So assuming that the time is 12, then that's the time it will go here. Or 11, it will go here. But if it is 10, it will also go here. But if it is 9, it will go here, but it will not go to this part. So else if time is lesser than 20, greeting good day, else greeting equals good evening. Again, it's 7 a.m. So this if statement will result to a good morning greeting. The JavaScript for loop. JavaScript loops. Loops are handy if you want to run the same code over and over again, each time with a different value. Often, this is the case when working with arrays. But we didn't discuss arrays, but let's just take a look at the code. So here we have text plus equals car 0 plus br, text plus equals cars 1, car. So if we're going to look at the code, they are quite similar except for the indices of the array. the array index. So instead of writing this one by one, we can have a loop. So variable I, and I will start to 0. I is lesser than cars.length, I plus plus. So I will start with 0. You notice that my index here also started with 0. And then in my code, text plus equals cars, the index now is I. So it starts with 0 and then BR. So similar to this, but except of placing here a hard-coded number, we place the variable I. And I, which start with 0. So that's 0. Once we loop iterates, then it says here that we're going to add 1 to I. So from 0, I will become 1. And then for the next loop, I will become 2. So just like in this case, then I will become 3, 4, and then 5. So this code is similar to this code, but you'll notice it is a lot shorter. So what if we have 50 of this? So, but still this one, the code will still be the same, or the length of the code will still be the same. So the for loop. The for loop has the following syntax. For, then we have the statement 1, semicolon, statement 2, semicolon, statement 3. Then the code of block to be executed. Statement 1 is executed one time before the execution of the code block. Statement 2 defines the condition for executing the code block. And statement 3 is executed every time after the code block has been executed. Okay, so in this example, for I equals 0, that is executed only once. And then this will be my condition. And this one will be executed every time. So from the statement above, you can read statement 1 sets the variable before the loop starts and variable I equals 0. So I equals 0 here. Statement 2 defines the condition for the loop and I must be less than 5. Statement 3 increases the value of I, so I plus plus, each time the code of block in the loop has been executed. So this will execute until the time that this becomes false, and at the same time increasing the value of I. Then we have the while loop. The while loop loops through a block of code as long as a specified condition is true. So while, then we have the condition. So if the condition is true, then the code block will be executed, and it will do this repeatedly until the time that the condition becomes false. So example, in the following example here, the code in the loop will run over and over again as long as a variable I is less than 10. So we have here, while I is less than 10, txt1 plus equals the number is the value of I. Then we have here I plus plus. So let's say, for example, I is initially 0. So that is true. It executes this, add to 1, is still true, execute, add 1, becomes 2, execute 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, add 1, 9, true. So the number is 9, add 1, 10, it becomes false, it goes out of the loop. So the numbers that will be displayed here, if I started with 0, is from 0 to 9. If you forget to increase the variable used in the condition, the loop will never end, and this will crash your browser. So let's say you forgot to place this one, so this one will never become false, and it will have an infinite loop. The do-while loop. The do-while loop is a variant of the while loop. This loop will execute the code block once before checking if the condition is true. Then it will repeat the loop as long as the condition is true. So similar to the other one, but this time it will first execute the block before testing for the condition, or sometimes we call this the post-test loop. So the testing comes after the code is executed. So again, do, we have the block of code here, then while, condition, that's the syntax. So example, the example below uses a do-while loop. The loop will always be executed at least once, even if the condition is false, because the code block is executed before the condition is tested. So do text plus equals the number is I plus plus. So while I is lesser than 10. So similar to the previous one, but the test or the condition is after the block of code. So do not forget to increase the variable used in the condition, otherwise the loop will never end. So that was also discussed a while ago. And that ends the basics of JavaScript. And so that's the end. So we'll be applying this in our next lessons, also in our jQuery lessons. So thank you for listening.